Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce our group. I'm Nurlita Apriyanti, along with my friends Tria Novitri and Suci Susilawati Sugari. We are from Group 6. This video we create to fulfill the weekly assignment for the post-intermediate reading course taught by Mrs. Yuna Tresna Wahyuna. Alright, we will present material about strategies for learning English in the context of being a foreign language. The material we will present is taken from Oxford Theory in 1990 that divide the learning strategies into two major sections, which is directly and indirectly. The word strategy comes from the Latin strategia, which is interpreted as the art of using a plan to achieve a goal. In the teaching and learning process, strategies can be interpreted as certain behavior used by a learner to achieve learning goals. Oxford 1990 gives a more detailed definition of learning strategies as specific action taken the learner to make learning easier, faster, more enjoyable, more self-direct, more effective, and more transferable to new situations. Dick and Carey, 1996, argues that learning strategies aren't only limited to activity procedure, but also include learning material or package. The learning strategy consists of all the components of the subject matter and the procedures that will be used to help students achieve certain learning objectives. Learning strategies can also be interpreted as patterns of learning activity that teachers choose and use contextually according to student characteristics, school conditions, the surrounding environment, and the specific learning objective formulated. As I mentioned before, Oxford 1990 divided learning strategy into two large parts, direct and indirect. Direct strategies are then further broken down into three types: memory, cognitive, and compensatory. Indirect strategies are also divided into three: metacognitive, affective, and social. And of course, each strategy has its own type of activities. Well, the first learning strategy is memory. Memory learning strategies are used by a learner by utilizing previous learning knowledge and experience. This learning strategy involves a lot of memory and learning processes that use memory. For example, if the learner connects speech, sound with things he has remembered, then he is using a memory learning strategy. Included in this learning strategy is to repeat the previous lesson. Similarly, if the learner uses body movement to aid understanding, then he is practicing memory learning strategy.
Cognitive strategies are all learner behavior in the teaching and learning process that are related to the use of the learner's thinking power. This strategy can take the form of various activities. In one study, 6 kinds of cognitive behavior were determined that are expected to represent the strategy. These 6 behaviors are correcting one's own mistake, using gesture, practicing pronouncing, writing in the notebook, reading from the board, and studying at the teaching medium. C. Compensation. The compensation learning strategy is used by learners who already have high enough skill. This learning strategy is usually used to overcome some limitation in language. Learners who have difficulty explaining something in the language being processed being learner, for example, can use definitions or translation in their work to keep the language process going. In fact, body movement can be used to cause the limitation hit the face. include in this type of learning strategies to determine or choose the topic being discussed. Even to avoid difficult topics is also a strategy in this group. D. Metacognitive. Metacognitive strategies are any learner's behavior that relate to learner's technique or way of dealing with and managing teaching and learning materials. In this study, metacognitive strategies embodied a variety of activities that can be included in IDAM. Strategies for learning English as a foreign language. 133 the following three categories: deciding on the attention of learning and structuring teaching, learning activities, and evaluating the teaching and learning process. It can be emphasized that all this must come from and be worked on by learners.
Next is affective. Affective are any learner behavior that is related to the feelings and attitude of the learner in the phase of learning process. This strategy is further divided into two: positive affective and negative affective. Positive affective are learner behavior that indicate that accept and values the teaching and learning process. And negative affective strategies are learner behavior that indicate that learners reject and do not value the learning and teaching process. Next, the last one is social. Social strategy is any learner behavior that is related to the cooperation of learners and their peers in achieving learning goals. This strategy is manifested in six activities. First, talking to the smart about learning. Second, helping friends according to teaching and learning activities. Third, asking friends for help. 4. Giving compliment to friends. 5. Harassing friends. And 6. Cheering friends. Alright, that's all from our group. Sorry if there are many mistakes, but in delivery or pronunciation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.